What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. $31 billion of EIDL stolen as loan approvals explode. It is Thursday, August the 5th, 2021. Please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below. Don't forget, make sure you follow me over on Twitter at TrySmallBiz, where I'm doing my damnedest to make sure that you and your family get every single fucking dollar that you deserve. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is a tremendous amount of breaking news all over the place. I have had one hell of a crazy day. I won't fill you in on the story, but it had something to do with my tires. I finally got all 4 tires, but I had to go back twice. I'll save that story for another time. The most important thing is this. John Cornyn, co-sponsor of S4227 last year and now S513, is the biggest traitor, turncoat, scumbag, as far as I'm concerned, in the entire Senate, because he's not only not said a single fucking word in the last 4 months since reintroducing S513 with another turncoat, Jackie Rosen out of Nevada, but it is he, Mr. John Cornyn, a Republican in Texas, that led the amendment effort to steal $31 billion from you and me so they could pay big business in the infrastructure deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair. Grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of water, whiskey. On a big rock, here we go. By the way, today you'll notice I'm drinking tea. I'm a big Yogi fan. Anybody out there ever had this? Sweet tangerine, positive energy. We need some of that, don't we? Supports elevated mood and energy levels. This is very organic stuff. They've got about 50 different flavors. This is one of my favorite. If you like tangerine, do yourself a favor and get yourself some of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me summarize. Let me start off by saying it's not as bad as I thought it was. It is not as bad as I thought it was 48 hours ago. Now, opinions vary, and I'm not going to name names, but as Builder said in one of his videos, I think yesterday, none of us are out to get each other. There are half a dozen or so channels that have been in the weeds for 16 months, and we're all different. Thank God for that. And we're trying to get you as much money as possible. Up to 15 grand in terms of the grants, 24 months of capital in terms of the loans. But the opinions are all over the place, not just among the channels, but among the media. Some think all of the targeted EIDL Advance program is gone. Others, like myself, still think there's some money there. But whether it's all or none or part, it's not as bad as I thought. So allow me to explain. If you remember, under the prior administration, December 27 is when President Trump signed a $900 billion deal in change with respect to the lockdowns and the pandemic. And anyone that applied to the prior grant up until December the 27th was qualified to receive the money. So as it was explained to me today by somebody in the Office of Capital Access, who is still processing close to 35,000 loans every day, they're going to get through everyone by the middle or so of this month. And no, it does not have to do with reconsideration. More on that in a second. The law has not been signed. It is not enacted as of yet, because if you call 800-659-2955, they tell you don't worry about it. They're processing grants like crazy. We're going to get another EIDL loan report tomorrow, and many of you have written me in the last 48 hours to say that you got your 24 months of working capital. They're going 20 to 30 times faster than they were under the Office of Disaster Assistance with respect to the loans. So most of you, 75 or 80% of you, are going to get your money on or before October the 1st with respect to the loan. With respect to the targeted EIDL Advance, because it has not been signed into law, and they may change it again. It happens in these rewrites of a certain bill. We don't know, but let's assume it stays it is. They steal $17.5 billion from the targeted EIDL Advance, $13 billion in change from the loan pile, still leaving over $200 billion. $60 billion of it is probably going to go to the restaurants with Blaine Luetmeyer's Entree Act, still leaving $175 to $200 billion for everybody in terms of 24 months of working capital. And yes, the $2 million loan caps, I don't know why they haven't announced it by now. Maybe they're sandbagging it to get this bill passed when they come out with more information. But it's not as bad as I thought. However, if you're a middle income community member, it's the same as it's been for the last 6 to 9 months. We need S513. We need a new bill. We need an executive order from the President of the United States. We need a change in the current laws. But it's crystal clear to me there's a shift going on away from grants to loans. But if you apply on or before this infrastructure bill is passed into law, just like the prior situation with December 27th under President Trump, it's my opinion, not a fucking guarantee, that you're going to get your money. You are what they call obligated in the bill. Because think of it this way. Let's assume there's a couple 100,000 people that are legitimately low-income community members. They suffered a 30 or a 50% loss. So they're entitled up to 10 plus 5 under the supplemental for a total of $15,000. If you're a law firm and this law is passed 2 or 3 weeks from now, and you have thousands of clients, maybe hundreds of thousands, that applied in May or April or June, and they called and they got privacy release forms signed and they reached out to Tier 2. They did everything that this guy and the other channels told you to do. How in the world is the SBA going to defend themselves in the court of law? You're going to be able to stand up there and say, hey, I had all my ducks in a row 4 months ago. The SBA's incompetence and ineptitude and inability to process my targeted or supplemental advanced grant when I'm dead smack in the middle of a purple zone is their fault, not mine. The SBA is going to lose, I am telling you, tens of thousands, or if it turns into 1 or 2 or 3 class action lawsuits, they can't defend that, which is why I think that word obligated comes into play. So that whenever the law passes, let's assume it's September the 1st, that law is going to state, or SBA policy is going to be, anyone who applied legitimately with no fraudulent behavior whatsoever on or before September the 1st is obligated to receive the funds, provided that you've got all the information that you're supposed to have, which is why I told you, create a file, a legal file, go into your portal, take photographs of everything, time and date, all the emails, all the calls, and you should be calling the SBA twice a week, Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. And if they get sick of hearing from you, hey, Mr. Macron, we see that you've called us now twice a week for the last 2 months. Yeah, that's because I'm in the middle of a low-income community. I applied for my targeted and my supplemental advance 3 months ago, and I still haven't received any money. So I'm asking you to once again document that my senator, such and such, sent in a privacy release form that I signed 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. I've called twice a week for a total of 47 times, and I still haven't gotten my money. There's no way the SBA can defend that in the court of law. So let me summarize again before I talk about loans and reconsideration one more time. It's my opinion based on prior evidence of the previous administration. And this is why they're telling you when you call, don't worry. They're still processing thousands of targeted EIDL advances and loans every single day. A new report comes out tomorrow. Once the law passes, anyone that's applied, that's a real low-income community member that suffered an economic loss, in my opinion, is going to be in the obligated file because you're real. You filed before the law changed, so you are entitled to get the money that you received. The people that are going to be left out on the cold with respect to the $17.5 billion they pulled out of the targeted EIDL advance are going to be people that apply after September the 1st, if that's the day that the law is signed by President Biden. That's how it's worked under the prior administration with respect to these COVID relief packages. It's how I believe it's going to act this time. And that's, again, why they're telling you to relax. The program's not going away. They're still paying out money as we speak. But when the law changes, so does the game. All right. They're processing with respect to the loan $30,000 to $35,000 per day. We have a contact that I have known for quite a while that's in the Office of Capital Access. And as I told you many times, we have gone from the outhouse to the penthouse. They went from processing about 1,600 loans a day to as many as 35 to even 40,000 on one situation 2 days ago with respect to the Office of Capital Access. So if they're going to process 20 times faster, they're ultimately going to get you the money 20 times faster. And as I've said many times, once they grab your file, you get a call or an email, hi, I'm your loan officer. It's about a month to get your money. You spend a week to 10 days Trading documents, depending on how well prepared you are, you want everything in PDF. Your driver's license front and back, a corporate check front and back, your hazard or commercial insurance in PDF, your board resolution of the board, which is you had a meeting, you're the guy that's making the decisions, and you're going to get a loan for X number of dollars. 2202, which is your liabilities, do not include your home mortgage. You want to keep that as low as possible because the formula for 24 months of working capital is your gross revenue for 2019 minus your cost of goods and services times 2. So if you had 100,000 in revenue, your cost of goods or services was 10 grand. It's 90,000 times 2. You're due 180. And whatever they approve you for, remember, you have to subtract what they already gave you last year. So you're going to get a wire transfer 7 to 10 days from approval for the difference. All right. Many questions on reconsideration. I do not know when or how or if there's going to be any changes with the current process. For some of you that are not prepared, it's taking at least 3 months. If you've done everything I have done, and I got approved, not once, but 2 reconsiderations I made it through in less than 2 months. You can speed up the process with a privacy release form, even if you got to do it again. And if you got it from one senator, go to another, or go to another congressperson. If one senator's giving you gruff because you already did it 2 months ago, fuck him or her, go to somebody else in either branch of government. And you need to document everything. You need to take photographs of everything. You need to articulate, I did this, I did that. And I have not heard anything back from the SBA. You need to get a hold of a SCORE.org counselor, SCORE.org. Many of them used to work for the SBA, or they're retired and they have connections into the SBA through the banking system. You can reach out to your old loan officer. Chances are they're not going to be able to process your loan because they're part of the old Office of Disaster Assistance, but they probably know somebody in the Office of Capital Access. And you got to call twice a week, Monday and Thursday, Tuesday and Friday. And you have to patiently tell them every single time you called that you PDF'd everything front and back, that you did contact your senators, congressmen and women. You've got 1, 2, or even 3 privacy release forms signed. You've reached out to your loan officer. You have a counselor at SCORE.org and all the other things that I've told you, because you can take what is normally a 3 or 4 month process and cut it down to 6 or 8 weeks or in half. So yes, I am sticking by what I said over the last 4 or 5 days. Upwards of 80% of you are going to get your money with respect to the 24 months of capital on or before October the 1st. If you're in reconsideration now, I would assume that the vast majority of you, over 90%, are going to have your money on or before Halloween. So yes, if I'm you, and I'm looking beyond just the targeted advance, which is going to be for low income only, up and until they sign the law, I am preparing myself, my family, my business, that at some point in the next 30 to let's say 65 or 80 days, you're going to get your money. As long as you've done everything I and others have told you to do. So until next time, always remember, I'm going to do my best to keep plugging away. 15 grand in grants, 24 months of capital, $2 million caps. And yes, after all this, I mean, fucking stealing $31 billion, John Cornyn, you son of a bitch, you, I am going to work like hell to make sure that you never pay the SBA a single dime. Until next time, always remember that I love you, and thanks so much for watching.